All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into game number 3 now proper. Both players are definitely in the lobby, so we're not going to be having anything of the sort this time around. And we have slightly different spawn positions here. But of course, no scouting had happened then, so it doesn't really matter so far. Guys, spawning in the top position of the map, representing ATN, we have Socke, who has all to play for against his Terran opponent, spawning in the bottom position in the red colors, representing FXO. We have Strelok with the winner of this game getting those travel money, getting the prize money, and getting the VIP tickets and the direct seed. So let's find out which one of these guys it's going to be. Very, very excited to see the conclusion of this game. Both of these guys have done so unbelievably much so far in this series. What is going to happen? We're probably not going to be seeing any sort of a crazy early game shenanigans. We have seen 2 Raxes, of course, but nothing sort of terribly all-in-ish just yet. It looks like these guys are perfectly happy to sit it out and play a little bit of a longer game. And this, of course, is Metropolis. Your expansions are typically moving slightly away from your opponent, making it a little bit more difficult for them to harass locations that are basically closer for you to defend than they are for them to attack. So this lends itself just a bit more towards macro play. And so far, it's looking like these guys are going to be complying. We have got a refinery going down this time for Strelok, so he's not going to be going for a gasless 1 Rax expand. He's going to be getting that gas and possibly going for... he could go for multiple things. He could go for a quick factory. He could go for a quick stim. We'll find out what he ends up choosing to do with that gas just a little bit down the line. And in the meantime, it looks like Socke is going to be the one taking his expansion. So he's actually gone for a 1-gate expand here. And like I mentioned, this map does lend itself to macro play. In addition, the spawning locations are not fixed. You can spawn opposite as well as close by air, which is why Strelok is going to be checking this location first, sees that Socke is not there, and therefore will deduce that he is, in fact, in the close by air positions. Pardon me, my goodness, it's been a long day, in the cross-spawn positions. And by the time he scouts that, this Nexus will basically be 3/4 of the way done, which is why Socke can get away with stuff like this. All very cool, calm, and collected. We have got 2 Marines guarding the ramp there as a reactor goes down on that barracks at the choke. In the meantime, the factory has immediately gone down for Strelok, and he is still only on 1 base and has taken his 2nd refinery now. It's taken I've seen refineries taken a lot later in 1-1-1s, but this could very well be a 1-1-1 style push. We have a reactor going down on the barracks, so a lot of Marines potentially here. And no, it doesn't look like it, because we have Hellion production instead of tanks, so it looks like we might be seeing Marine Hellion drops come out of Strelok in this game number 2. Now, we have got Socke still only on the 1 gas. The Nexus at his natural expansion has completed, and neither gas has been taken there just yet. Stalker going to be popping out of that gateway now, doing a good job of holding that watchtower while continuously sending units there to scout out, and he will now know that... actually, interesting choice to scout that, considering... Okay, yeah, he hasn't seen anything yet. So this is the first scout that he has had all game, which explains why he checked the close-by-air positions first. For some reason, I thought he had scouted this already, but of course he had not. And there are 4 Marines here trying to make sure that the probe doesn't get in. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what denied looks like in bullet form. So Socke doesn't know if an expansion's down, because Strelok is guarding the place leading into the expansion with his Marines, and that probe really didn't get far enough to see if a command center was down there. That is for sure. So let's see what he chooses to do with that particular information. We're going up to 3 gateways and a robotics facility from Socke. Super, super standard stuff there. And we have Strelok now moving out across the map with some Marines and Hellions. Do we have a medevac joining the fray? We do indeed. Are the Marines going in, or are the Hellions going in? It looks like the Marines are going in. The Hellions are fast enough to go on foot, to go by ground themselves, which is why this is happening. And Whoopsie daisy. I'm just going to march straight through the vision of this watchtower here so you can be completely prepared for me. And is that going to happen? Yes, 2 stalkers immediately getting... Whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe not. And here we go. Targeting down the medevac. Really well played there. And we have Hellions moving in to the main as well. The Marines also moving in. And are they going to get a decent number of pro kills? It looks like they are. The Hellions and the Marines combined. Doing a good job at the moment. The Marines keeping the Stalkers at bay while the Hellions attempt to do some work. And another 2 probes go down. Still 4 Marines left. Is it going to be enough though? 12 workers killed. I'm not 100% sure that's enough, guys, because we have the medevac. We have all of the Marines that were in the medevac, and we have the Hellions, and everything actually died. If we take a look at the Lost tab, we can see that Socke is only 50 minerals, or 50 resources rather, ahead of Strelok as far as that is concerned. So 12 workers, good enough, but not exemplary coming out of Strelok. Really, he would have wanted to see a little bit more. And look at this, now he's actually switching into Marine Tank Banshee. So he's going to be transitioning into a 1-1-1 style push off the back of this. Now, of course, not quite as potent as a super early 1-1-1 all-in kind of pressure. He has, in fact, taken his natural expansion, and that is becoming orbital command as we speak. So we'll see how well that fares him in the long term. But in the meantime, the robotics bay has just gone up for Socke in his main base. And we have the starport actually building a reactor now. Interesting stuff. And Barrack's going to be putting on a tech lab. So he's probably going to be going for stim off of this as well, and additional medevacs. It looks like he just wanted to get a couple of Marines and tanks out quickly. That Banshee's just going to be for harass, and here it comes into the main base. So it's not going to be a 1-1-1 style push. It is just going to be transitioning into something normal, but he wanted to get that Banshee first to attempt to harass. Unfortunately for Strelok, that Banshee has done absolutely nothing. We have got the destructible rock between the natural expansion and the third base being taken out now by Socke. And they will go down, and he will potentially be safe to take his third should he wish to do so. Has to be so wary of the size of Strelok's army, though. Always wants to be scouting and making sure that that is completely fine. And the observer here actually is in a pretty good position to do just that. So Socke is forward thinking. He potentially could take his third, but he's going to be getting another warp in or 2 off units first. We have the Banshee now being very, very annoying here. Will he be able to pick apart a couple of those probes? Yes, and quite a few of them, especially the ones mining on gas, are still on 1 hit's worth of damage. This Banshee gets away. Grand total 4 kills. In the meantime, Stim is currently about halfway done. We don't have combat shields or concussive shells being researched the other one, and just as I say that, combat shields do start. So the bio-operates are on their way for Strelok here. And his Banshee, only on 4 kills still, I think is being forced to go home at this point, sadly unable to quite make an impression on the game. Great control all game long, by the way, at the Selnaga Tower from Socke. That saw the medevac coming first off, saw a bit of the Banshee when it was coming back as well, so just generally really good scouting coming out of him. In the meantime, Strelok is rather turtled up and rather ready. 4 siege tanks and approximate metric crap ton of Marines are sitting here at the natural expansion, which is mining very happily. 54 to 44 workers in favor of Socke at the moment. Will Socke end up taking his third? Soon indeed. It looks like he's actually going to be going for a bit of a timing here. 4 additional gateways are coming on now. And we have a Twilight Council being built in the back of the main base. 1-1 is about to complete. Let's see if he immediately starts 2-2. He has the gas to do it, so I see no reason why not. +1 has completed. We now need to see +1 armor complete. And then his plans will be revealed. Here we go. An Immortal going to be popping out. And we have Zealot Charge with +2 on the way. So let's do a quick recap of the upgrades. They're 1-0 at the moment for the Protoss, but basically 1-1. And they're 1-0 at the moment for Strelok, and nowhere close to 1-1. So we are 1 upgrade ahead as far as our Protoss is concerned at the moment. Let's see if he can make it stick. 2-2 is on the way, and it looks like Strelok has decided he is happy to engage here. So let's find out whether or not one of these guys is bluffing, trying to take some pot shots against the medevacs, and it looks like he's moving back. The Colossus and the Immortal a little bit afraid of this army, and rightly so. Socke needs to be oh so careful in case Strelok is just able to pop in and absolutely mince him. So I like his decision to pull back. He needs to give his opponent a bit of space so he can actually gain some ground army-wise and try and get back in contention, because Strelok is currently ahead around 10 army supply. And picking up Stalker there as well. Just doing another scan to check exactly what's going on. There is a High Templar here, but no Storm has been researched. And is Strelok going to push the issue? We have a Marine now, just going to be moving forward to see exactly what's going on. The Stalkers are saying no thanks, I'd rather you not see that, as we have a lot of bunkers. So slow pushing here coming out of Strelok. Vikings moving forward now. It looks like this is going to be the engagement that may decide the game, and the Colossus immediately getting two-shotted, and the Vikings landing but a little bit further back as well, wanting to make sure that those siege tanks are able to do as much damage as possible. The second Colossus goes down as well, and it looks like Socke is forced to pull back, but the supplies are relatively even, 116 to 122 in favor of our Terran player at the moment. Can he actually make it stick? Another siege mode going down here against the Zealots, and now the force fields are actually working against Socke, because he is unable to funnel his own army in through them. But have his defensive weapons been enough? There are still a decent number of Marauders with this army for Strelok at the moment, and there's still a siege tank left standing, but it looks like the Immortals are going to be a little bit too much. While they all die, there are still about 5 gateway units that remain here for Socke, and the Stalkers are just going to march all the way through. So, the current supply is 83 to 98. That was basically a boxing match where both players lost their armies. And the work supply is 57 to 39 in favor of Socke. So Socke having that economic lead as well. In the meantime, if we take a quick look back home, 3 Marauders and 3 Marines are being produced at a time here for Strelok, and needs to replenish his tank count as quickly as he can. He does not want to be losing gas at the rate that he did in that previous engagement. It might have been a little bit foolish of him to do so, but it paid off because he managed to kill the army of Socke as well, and they effectively reset the situation. The problem is, the upgrades for Socke are pretty darn good. He is at 2-2 already, and we have no upgrades on the tanks and 1-1 on the bio. So Socke is ahead on supply now, and he's also ahead in upgrades. Ooh, very good pickup there off the Immortal, rather, but is it going to be enough? Here we go, moving out towards the Watchtower, and the Zealots immediately surround both tanks and get them killed. 124 to 98 supply now, and it looks like Socke is feeling pretty confident about his chances in this game now. Takes a 30 supply lead. It looks like that siege tank is going to be able to force the rest of those guys away. And here we go, leading the charge with the Immortal as well. Excellent army positioning there from Socke. Is it going to be enough? The SCVs are getting pulled from Strelok as well. Will he have enough to hold out, though? Good feedback on some of those medevacs, preventing them from healing. And now they're going to be kiting back, attempting to get healed by some of these medevacs. More mules being dropped inside his face. Is his army large enough to hold this off? And once again, it looks like Socke is actually backing off. So Socke is currently ahead, 108 to 61 supply right now, just constantly turning the screw in on Strelok, but hasn't quite been able to do that yet. He killed 60 workers. He saw how many SCVs were killed in that attack because Strelok pulled those SCVs, and it looks like that's all he actually needs. It is 60 probes right now to 16 SCVs. In the meantime, behind this, it looks like the third was actually taken from Socke, and he's going to be putting that on as well. So there might be some clip videos or something later on. But for now, guys, this is unbelievably tense between these two players. And we have a second semi-final to come as well, and I think Bly is going to be the one through that. I'll get confirmation with the admins, but I think he actually beat Runa to get a spot in the second semi-final, so that's going to be the game worth watching there. And we have some SCVs moving in with this army as well. This is going to be Strelok's last stand, I believe. If he breaks through with this, he wins the game. If he doesn't break through with this, he definitely loses. Only a single siege tank with it. Is it going to be enough? The army coming in from both sides now as far as Socke is concerned, and Strelok being forced to push back. Good spread on the bio, but is it going to be enough? Another great feedback on one of the medevacs and it looks like that's not going to be enough. GG, and ATN's Socke, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the first person to I-47. Very well played there from Socke. He is the first person to receive the direct round of 16 seed at I-47. Will receive a cash prize for winning this online tournament, assuming he goes. Will get a stipend towards travel, and he'll get his hotel paid for as well, in addition to those VIP tickets. So very, very well played there from Socke, who takes that 2-1 over Strelok in a very, very tense semifinal. Now, guys, when we come back, the second semifinal between, I believe, Bly versus Zazu, otherwise known as Rotan. Don't go anywhere. This is the last best of 3 of the day.